guys. Welcome to Late Night Love. We are back again. And I'm sorry. I was just double checking one thing before we started. Tonight on Late Night Love, we're exploring the moments when life stops feeling balanced, when the scales tip, the pressure builds, and suddenly you're questioning everything from your job to your relationships to your own sense of worth. This episode is about the quiet imbalances that wear us down, the emotional labor we carry alone, the expectations that don't match the effort, the love that feels conditional, and the relationship that asks us to shrink and keep the peace. But it's also about the turning points, the moments when you finally say, something has to change, and you start choosing yourself again. So settle in, and let's walk through these stories with softness, honesty, and a little late night courage. But before we start, I've got something for us to show us that's kind of in this theme. So let me...
You're allowed to change your mind about what you want, about who you are, about what you thought would make you happy. The version of you from 5 years ago didn't know everything you've lived through since. And maybe that dream doesn't fit anymore. Maybe that...
You're right. Maybe that part of you is no longer what you need. Doesn't mean that dream didn't have value. It pushed you to something.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe it's time to don't be so married to that past dream that you miss the one that you should really chase, I guess is what I'm saying. So, but before we start, let's remind you that you can send your questions, comments, suggestions to love@latenightLove.us. You can watch the live show and all that good stuff at latenightLove.us. Click the live button. There's also a comment thing where you can contact. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Contact section in there. You can do there's a little button here. I can never find these things when I want them. But you know it. No, that's not right. Anyway, there's somewhere around here, there's a thing where I can put in supposed to be able to put in a like, subscribe, share button, and I can't find it at the moment because it's been so long since I've tried to use these things. But anyway, as always, you can find, where to find us. You can do all the fun things. You can find us on Live 365. I suspect they're changed over to KUCU now. They're changing branding over there to avoid confusion.
Okay.
It makes perfect sense. Realistically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As always, you can find us there. You can find us on your favorite podcast, YouTube, Rumble, all that good fun stuff.
Thank you.
You can find us there. You can question, even though we haven't set her up, we should just do a question section. A comment thing at the beginning of the show. You can answer questions on the show, or at least ones that are worthy of comment. So not all are worthy of comment. Even though I think we did have one. If I was logged into YouTube, we'd do it now. Maybe we'll do it at the end of the show. Maybe we'll answer comments at the end of the show or something.
Ooh. Okay.
There's a couple in there that could be answered.
Okay.
From recent ones. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So where are we at tonight? In our first opening segment, we've got some weeks it feels like the world hands you every heavy thing at once. The bills, the deadlines, the expectations, the emotional labor no one else seems to notice. Tonight, we're sitting with these stories of people who are trying to hold it together while wondering if anyone is holding them. From uneven partnerships to workplace disrespect, from being overlooked to being overburdened. These are the moments that make you question your value, your boundaries, and even your breaking point. If you've ever felt like the responsible one simply because no one else stepped up, you're in good company here. Yeah, how the heck am I the responsible one here is a question I often find myself asking. How am I the one? When did this happen? This doesn't make any sense. If I'm the competent one here, we're all in trouble. Have you ever had those feelings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. Of course, as the older you get,
I'm
realize
making this up as I go along, and that's usually what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, you think everybody else knows what they're doing. And no, if you've done something a number of times before, but what is it? You're not an expert until you've done something for like 10,000 hours. That's a lot of hours doing something.
Yeah.
And so we're all just kind of making it up until we've seen everything a number of times. That's what those 10 hours, those 10,000 hours are for. So you've seen almost everything. And even if you see something new, you have something that can relate because you've been doing this for 10,000 hours. You know, you've come across just about everything. And if not, you can figure it out. So, yeah. Just saying. All right.
10,000. Man.
Yeah. Takes a long time to become a genuine expert at something.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're not good at it long before that, but a genuine expert.
Okay.
And it's not, not all hours are equal for all people, right? But rule of thumb. Okay. What are we starting with, Lovey?
Okay. We're starting with my boyfriend doesn't want to split bills equally with me. Should I compromise or call it quits? Now, this is before they're moving in. They're
Okay.
doing the finances.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a good idea.
And he makes like twice as much as she does.
And he doesn't want to even spend his half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't even bother then. Because he's not treating you as a partner right from the jump. At that stage, if you're going in, you're moving in together, you're creating a life together, it's no longer about necessarily equality. It's about equality of effort, not necessarily equality of things. So you'd figure out if he makes twice as much as she does, she pays a third of the bills.
Yeah.
Totally. Right?
Yeah.
Because essentially what you're doing is you're creating a family pot and you're paying bills from that. And what's left over is what you guys get to spend.
Yeah.
Some of it goes to retirement. Some of it goes to blah, 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 all the various thing you budget. But you can still have separate bank accounts while still treating it as one single pot.
Some couples have their own separate account and then a joint account that they put money into and pay the bills out of.
Yeah, you put that one gets filled first, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what's left over, you get to do what you want with.
Yeah.
And that becomes one person is more capable, one person pays a little more. Not because you have to, but because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Now, maybe someone has large college debts that need to get paid off. So you're paying half because realistically, that's a bill,
Yeah.
And so you're paying half of the, just because someone's making twice as much doesn't mean they have twice as much to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, especially these days, they could have, $300,000 of college debt trying to be paid off. And if they want to pay it off seriously, they're taking huge chunks of that. And there goes half their income, even if they're making a good income. Cut it in half. And because that's what they're using to pay off debt. And you want them to, so that things off of your head faster.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you're there for. Together, to navigate this stuff together.
Yeah, but if you can't do that,
Then he's not all in.
yeah. And if maybe that's fine. Maybe it's a, a roommate with benefits, I suppose. But if that's what it is, understand that going in. You're just saving some money. You're saving some rent money, and on occasion you guys like to spend enough time together where on occasion you get friendly.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying.
Somebody always starts caring more.
Well, clearly, but
And then babies happen.
I didn't say it was a good idea. I'm just saying this. Again, I'm not necessarily, but it is an option. Just go in eyes open. And these are difficult economic times. You make economic decisions based upon, if they're in an expensive area. Moving in together may just make too much economic sense, even at that.
Yeah.
Even at just splitting the bills. So, okay.
Okay, this one. Coworker who keeps ignoring my birthday without any signs of animosity towards me. Seems to like her,
Uh-huh.
But ignores her birthday.
Does he know it's your birthday?
Yeah.
And maybe he just doesn't do birthdays.
He just says happy birthday and that's all.
Okay, then he does not ignoring your birthday. He acknowledges your birthday.
There's no presents.
He's afraid to cross that line. So guess what, Sunshine? You're going to have to cross it. It's just not what he does.
Yeah.
She expects more from her birthday.
He's there for work. I'm sorry. This is a guy there for work.
He goes in, hi, happy birthday, have a good day. And
Yeah.
off he goes.
Off he goes.
And here's the thing, he expects nothing else from you.
Yeah.
That's called the lowest effort relationship you're ever going to have, right?
It really is.
He's there. He's be perfectly pleasant towards you, right? But he doesn't care. Yeah, he's not going to be mean. He's going to acknowledge your birthday, but there's no reason for him to spend any, time out of his day or expenses to deal with a birthday present for you. Don't expect it. And you don't need to return it. He won't miss it.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to ignore his birthday. He's not going to even notice.
He would be baffled if you would give him something.
Why the hell are you giving me a birthday present?
Now you just confused everything.
Yeah, so no, this is just how a lot of guys are.
Yeah. Especially at work.
Yeah.
He's there to work.
Well, it's a lot of guys are anyway, but
Yeah.
especially at work. All right.
Okay, a breach hit our company, and suddenly everyone cares about security. This is the IT person.
Yeah, that's what happens. They care afterwards
Yeah.
because that's when you start to care. Oh, we were doing it wrong? Well, I've been telling you for 5 years you've been doing it wrong. And you keep saying, yeah, okay, we'll do something about it, and never actually do. Or nobody follows through. It's not a high enough priority. People slack after a while. Here's the thing. You don't have to do a lot, but just do your retraining every 6 months.
Yeah.
See, what happens is they go through security training, and then that's it. They never do it again. So if you send them through just small security trainings every 6 months, then they're at least aware that they have security trainings.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this big, huge thing. Just, a quick half-hour PowerPoint presentation and send them off on their way again. It's just the fact that it's focused on is what's important.
Yes.
The fact that they think about it. You can really improve your IT discipline that way. So take the opportunity rather than going, oh, God dang it, I've been telling them for 5 years this is important. Say, okay, now that I have their attention, let's implement a plan so we don't lose our attention on this later. So take the opportunity that where the top people are focused on it. Okay, we need to implement a cybersecurity plan where every 6 months we bring everybody through just a quick training, a quick online training, whatever, just so they've got it in their head that this is important.
Mm-hmm.
And
people forget.
It's just a mandatory thing.
Yeah, you do it when you're in orientation, and that's it.
And that's it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Be serious. Who remembers their orientation?
Nobody. So every 6 months, you force everybody to go through a real quick thing. You don't make it a big, huge ordeal.
Perfect. Yeah.
You just make it so they have to think about it again.
Perfect.
And you can hit them with the basics. And as long as they're thinking about it, then you've got them. You've won half the battle, right? Okay.
Oh, this one. My wife doesn't seem to understand independence, and it's affecting my work.
Uh-huh.
Like in the morning, she's an at-home mom.
Okay.
And he works, like a 50-hour week to support the fam.
Mm-hmm.
2 kids. And they get up in the morning and she'll say things like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could go out to breakfast together? And he's getting ready for work. Hello.
Yeah.
And now sometimes he'll indulge him, but it's indulge her. He indulges her too much because he can't help it. She just wants to be with him, and it's affecting his work.
Well, then you indulge her on when she's not necessarily expecting it. When you're not working, then you're going to have to find the time to indulge her on those If you've got one day off a week, guess what? You're going to have to figure out a way to dedicate 2 of those hours, to take her out to lunch. Just going to have to, on the day you have off where there's no pressure. So you're not worried about it. She's not worried about it. Going to have to find a way to do it then.
This is why people have date night.
Well, yeah, sometimes. But it doesn't have to be that big of a deal, right? She's just saying she just wants to have breakfast occasionally. Okay, so on Sundays, you go have breakfast. Send the kids off to church with grandma or whatever and go have breakfast. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Do whatever it takes. That's what she's needing at the moment, right? You know how you mothers get with the 2 young kids. She becomes mom and nobody else. And she wants a little bit of somebody else. And essentially, I don't want to necessarily say it's a cry for help, but it's a cry for help in a sense, right?
Yeah.
She's saying, I need some kind of connection on a different level.
Now, here's an idea. Encourage her to join a mommy and me group.
Yeah, but I don't know. These days, those groups have a tendency to be a bunch of Debbie Downer negative nannies. And
Not the group that I was in.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
They were very supportive.
That was a long time ago.
It was 30 years ago. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. Those groups these days are a bunch of you just want to be victims. So it's like
Now, wait a
whining
minute.
fest.
Are you just going to shoot down my idea?
No, but make sure she finds a group of positive people who are positive forwards and looking for and generally empowering, not empowering victimhood. Okay. That's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
Don't empower victimhood.
No, people, you talk about your feelings with your children, raising children, and we had a little activity. We had structured.
No, she needs something that's not related to children. She needs to go off and do something completely not related to kids, where she's not talking about her kids, where she's just doing something for her. Art class or something where it's got nothing to do with her kids or her families or those responsibilities.
Why can't she do both?
Because she needs something different.
Okay.
That's what she's needing. She's surrounded by that all the time.
I think she just wants attention.
Yes, but if she's going to have to create that attention for herself, she needs to make it for herself, not just another extension of her family, of her taking care of her family. To genuinely take care of herself in this nature, which I'm agreeing she needs to do. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I said, it's dang near a cry for help. Okay, so
do something like what my youngest daughter did was run her first race.
Yeah.
She ran a 5K by herself, drove herself there.
Yeah, and everybody can say, why didn't her family support her? She didn't want them to.
She didn't want them. She said, I want to do something for me.
For and by me.
For and by just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take up bowling, for God's sake. It doesn't matter, really.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, whatever it is. You don't even have to be good at it. Just produce something.
My mother went to quilting classes.
Yeah.
And she worked on the same quilt for like 3 years. And finally, they very gently told her, maybe quilting isn't for you, dear. But she's like, nope, I'm going to keep trying.
Well, I went to go learn how to push buttons in a control room for a TV show, and Lord knows what that turned it out as.
Turned into a career.
Yeah. So, you never know where these things go.
Yeah.
So that's my suggestion is if you're going to have to do this, he needs to give her a little more attention when he can.
Okay.
Right. He's working a lot. I get it, but find a way to take her to breakfast or to brunch or something I know it's your one day off, so spend it with her. Remember why you like to spend time alone with her. You actually do. You just forgotten why because you're exhausted. And we get it. But you know what? Maybe some alone time with her and, will actually help recharge your batteries a little bit. reconnecting with your wife is actually energizing. And I'm not even talking physically. I'm just talking reconnecting on that human level. Or, oh yes, this person is the one that has my back. I got it. I got it. That's energizing. It picks you up a little bit. I remember why I'm getting up and doing 50-hour. Sometimes you forget. You're just kind of on automatic pilot and you forget why you're actually doing it. The real reason, right? Yeah, you're doing it to pay bills and all that stuff, but the real reason.
The real reason. Yeah.
So, and then she needs to find her own little bit of independence. I completely agree. To take care of herself, not for anybody else, for herself.
For herself.
Yeah. And encourage that.
Yeah.
But not instead of you spending some time with her, in addition to you spending some time with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Start building a life. Hello.
Yeah. Because she's getting overwhelmed as being a mother, as is completely understandable. Okay,
I decided to quit effective immediately because my manager insulted me. Did I make the right move? Called her stupid.
Well, it depends. If men quit every time somebody or their boss called them stupid, every man would quit like every other month or something at least, especially depending upon the environment and where you are in the food chain and all that. And, if you're the dumb apprentice who makes stupid mistakes all the time, or are you the journeyman veteran who can tell the engineer what really works? These kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of depends. Depends on, is it the first time? Is your manager just having a bad day and overreacted? Or did you really screw up? Sometimes you just got to eat it.
Well, just felt it was just completely out of unwarranted and inappropriate.
Okay, so let me have a guess. Is this person in their mid to late 20s?
Yeah. Early 20s.
Early 20s. Yeah.
22, 23.
They can't really take, so we'll call it rough accountability. They did something stupid. They got called stupid for doing it because it was obviously stupid. And their little sensibilities can't accept the fact that, yeah, okay, this was my fault. I need to move on. Yes, maybe your boss shouldn't have called you stupid. It's unprofessional and they need to grow. But guess what? Your boss is probably 28. If you're in your low 20s, your boss is only 5-6 years older than you. Right? He doesn't know yet that he's not supposed to call you stupid, or he doesn't have the self-control to call you stupid because he's got his manager upstairs calling him saying, "Is this guy stupid?" Right? This is how it happens. Crap rolls downhill.
Yeah.
And if you're the person at the bottom of the hill, guess what? And if you actually started the ball rolling, well, then, yeah, you deserve to get the crap. Now, should you have to put up with it? It depends. It really kind of depends on the overall nature of the business, how important that job is to paying your bills at the moment. The size of your paycheck, the amount of crap I was willing to put up with was direct proportionate to the size of my paycheck. I'll put up with a lot more crap if my paycheck is big enough. And if you're paying me peanuts, sorry, you don't get to treat me like that. You're not paying me enough to put up with your BS. Sorry, that's just not how it works. You need me. You quite literally need me more than I need you. So,
Literally.
So, now no one's irreplaceable. But so, did you do the right move? I don't know. It's hard to say. Even if it was the right move, self-reflect on what you started to create that circumstance, because those kind of things don't happen for nothing, generally speaking. You don't get the nickname light bulb for nothing. I'm just saying. So, little self-reflection may indeed be called for. But, may also want to find a new job before you quit.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got one that you can lean back on. Or maybe it's only a part-time job, so it's not that big of a deal. But it's easier to get a job when you have one. Okay, what is next?
Why do I keep caring about work when they clearly don't care about me?
Okay, so why do you care about... Okay, you're going to have to decide what you mean by care. You care about work because the quality of the work you do is a reflection of you, not a reflection of the company you work for.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. You provide a service for a fee. They give you a thing called a paycheck, and you provide a service to them that we call work.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it is. Just like anything else. Just like when the plumber comes to your house, you give them money, they provide you a service. That's how it works. It's no different. If the economic balance changes too much in one direction or another for too long, the relationship has to change. You're no different. If your gardener stops doing a good job and is no longer worth the money you're spending, you get a new gardener, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens. If your plumber, is slow and overly expensive, you find a faster, cheaper one. Just what happens. You are no different. So, should you care about the company? Only so much as it gives you a paycheck, I suspect.
I think it's more about caring about your work rather than caring about the company. I mean, it's about your personal values.
Yeah. And what you can learn in the process. I'm working with this young lady, and she says, I wanted to learn how to use, the Office system, the software, like Office 365 and all that. I said, sweet, let's learn how to use it.
Yeah.
And so even if the company doesn't necessarily care about her, we care about her enough where she gets to learn something.
Yeah.
She gets to have an opportunity to learn, get new skills.
Something she wants to learn.
She wants to learn because she knows it looks good on her resume if she can say, hey, yes, I can use these things relatively proficiently.
Yeah.
So she's thinking in her 20s, she's thinking about what life is going to be like in her 30s.
Okay.
She's picking up skills, project management skills, and all these various things that, otherwise people who are usually at her, her level don't get a chance to do. Mm-hmm. She actually has a second job working at county government, but all she gets to do there is press buttons.
Okay.
And here she gets to stretch her knowledge. She gets to learn things. She gets to try new things.
Yeah.
So.
Yay.
So, yeah. Don't worry so much about it. No, your work isn't going to care about you. Don't expect them to. It's a job. It's not a family. Some jobs can be close. They can feel like family, but at the end of the day, it's still a job. It's economics. If they don't sell enough widgets, the factory has to close, right? Economics is what economic is. So it's a cold, hard reality, man.
It's jungle out there.
Well, it's not even. Just stop expecting it to be this. Sorry, the world has never been like this utopia where everybody gets to sit around and sing Kumbaya, and it doesn't work like that. There's never in the history of anything existing has that been the case. There's just nothing in past history that we get a nice, easy life. It just doesn't happen. And if you don't believe me, ask any species on the planet. Examine how they actually live.
Okay, I can't help it. Even Jesus said you will have troubles in your life.
Yeah.
Okay?
Ants go to war with each other.
Yeah.
Right? Ants. There's a whole freaking world they can go, and they go to war with each other. It's not like there's a shortage of places ants can create homes, but they go to war with each other over the exact same thing we do. Territory and resources. And sometimes simply because you crossed some arbitrary line and now we're mad. They're no different. Ants, did you know ants milk aphids?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're not the only creature that uses other creatures and drinks their milk.
Ooh.
Ants do. They actually harvest them, like farm them and stuff. It's insane. It's insane.
Whoa.
Also, carpenter ants have broken the cycle. They no longer, when they separate, they no longer create two completely separate colonies that fight with each other. They now connect them and they have like cities connected.
They've evolved.
Yeah, they've broken the cycle of the single queen. Each city gets their own queen, but they still interact with each other. And they're
Imagine that.
like the United States of carpenter ants. This place up in Canada or near the Alaska border, near an Alaska and Canada border thing. Yeah, it's really crazy. So carpenter ants are a thing, man. Okay, we just went way off.
That was a tangent.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
What does future promotion mean on a performance review?
Absolutely nothing.
He got a look at all the performance reviews, and some of them said future promotion, pending promotion. It's nothing. One stalemate or whatever, just worker.
Generically speaking, it means nothing. But theoretically, okay, here we go. Theoretically, it means that people who have future promotions get stuck in a pile that will, in the future, get considered for a promotion if promotions become available. Like if a position comes available, these are the internal candidates we'll look at for specific positions.
Yeah.
And the people who are under that, they're just workers, right?
Yeah.
They might be very conscientious. They might want to fire them because the people who show up every day.
They do a great job.
Yeah, but
it's necessary work. They need it done.
they need done, but they're not material to move on, right?
Yeah.
And, you need the worker bees, right? And some people are to be considered for future promotions, but in a realistic sense, it means nothing. Because it's a snapshot of that moment at that time. And whenever a future promotion comes up, they're going to take another snapshot. And that's when that's what's going to matter. I suppose it can matter because you're part of the second snapshot when the other stack likely isn't. But it only lasts for a year until your next review. So just in a realistic sense, it doesn't mean very much. Unless it says pending promotion, right? Because then that's exactly what it is. There's a promotion in process. That's just what it is. But future promotions, it just means you're a potential candidate for future openings if they happen to occur.
Kudos.
Yeah, to you or to other people.
Good for you.
Yeah. Now, there is probably a nice coded word there for these are the people who get laid off. If layoffs have to come, these are the people who first get laid off. Those are probably in there somewhere too. And it's not impossible for those lists to be crossed, to have people who are future promotions and also laid off on the layoff list.
Yeah.
Those are not mutually exclusive lists. So anyway, if you've been carrying more than your share at home, at work, or in your own mind, let this be a reminder that your effort deserves respect. You're allowed to ask for balance. You're allowed to expect fairness. And you're allowed to walk away from anything that keeps taking without giving back. So for me and Levy, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.